Happy Humanist. Hey, thanks for the response. I find it quite interesting. It's very enlightening when somebody tells their own story. I guess your lawnmower story would actually be considered a testimonial, which certain sects of Christianity use testimonials to further their faith. I'm not sure exactly which, if it's the Baptists or the Evangelicals or whoever. Doesn't matter. The ones that dance around with the snakes, whatever they're called. It's funny. It's enlightening too that the first reaction that you had, the first step in your problem solving method of dealing with your lawnmower situation was to think that your lawnmower was indeed possessed. And then of course the solution to the possession would be to pray to it. Whereas even when I was fairly religious, the first step that I would have taken would be to solve the physical problem, to understand what's physically going on in the lawnmower, so that I can come to a solution. But then again, there's that's the difference between fundamental Christianity and conservative Judaism. Conservative's not conservative in the political sense. Conservative Judaism is the middle of the road in orthodoxy as far as Judaism goes. It goes Reform, conservative, Orthodox, Hasidic. The Hasids are the guys that look like they look like the Amish. They're wearing black and they got the wide brim hats and they got the yarmulkes underneath. They got the long curly sideburns. Those are called payas. Of course, they're not shaved. They got beards. Those are the ultra Orthodox, or the Hasids. And then the regular Orthodox, you'll probably see them. They're probably usually always wearing yarmulkes. They might have payas, they might not. They might be shaven, they might not be. And then the conservatives would be moderate Jews, which are just like your everyday Jews. And the Reform Jews are the really relaxed Jews. So I was brought up in a conservative Jewish family, and I think the difference between Judaism in general, but more of a moderate religion, and the fundamentalist is in attitudes towards the natural world. When you were a fundamentalist Christian, your first thought was that clearly the lawnmower is possessed. There's intention. There's malicious intent behind this inanimate object's disagreement with you. It's not behaving as it should. Clearly there's some malicious intent behind it. Whereas from a more moderate background, I would think that, what's wrong is the engine's flooded, there's too much gas in it, there's not enough air, maybe the intake's clogged, maybe it's out of gas, let me check that, maybe there's not enough lubrication. I'd go through and try to find the physical reason why. There wouldn't be any intent behind it, that's just how the physical world works, which is, as I still think today, even though I'm not religious at all, to be in that mindset where I immediately jump to the conclusion that an inanimate object is possessed is something I can't wrap my head around. I've never been in that mental state. I can't say I've never been in that mental state, because I think that early childhood, there's an inclination for toddlers, for young children to impose purpose, or to impose outside influence on physical objects. I think this is why we see a lot of religions in the world. They're like, there's forest spirits, or there's gods that make it rain. There's always some intent behind physical things. This is apparently a natural way for humans to be. For Christians or Muslims, specifically monotheists in the Abrahamic tradition, for them to impose their religion on the broader world is it's arrogant to think that because it's natural for humans to assume intent where there actually is none, that's obviously proof for the existence of the Christian God specifically, whereas let's say a native islander from Papua New Guinea who believes in forest spirits and witch doctors, obviously putting intent to weather patterns, or somebody gets sick with a disease or something. And of course they would use that to justify the existence of their forest spirits or witch doctors, and they use the same reasoning, but and both of them think that the other one's wrong. And then given the opportunity, well, at least the Christian would impose their views on the other culture. It's quite fascinating, but it's something that I can't quite wrap my head around it. I was never there. You were. Maybe you can shed some more light on the subject, and how come. Well, if you would, I'm so curious as to the details of your loss of faith, as it were. You're falling out of fundamentalist Christianity into atheism now. That's a significant change in the thinking. That's a significant change in well, I'm a materialist, so brain structure. we're talking you took whole sections of your brain and you rewrote the hardware there. It's so profound to me. I don't think I've ever had such a point of view change. I wouldn't even know what to compare it to. So if you could go into more detail about that, I'd be fascinated. Thank you.